Another in the series of presidential profiles, Ulysses S. Grant, 18th President of the United States.
It was my fortune, or misfortune, to be called to the office of Chief Executive without any previous political training. History shows that no administration, from the time of Washington to the present, has been free of mistakes. But I leave comparisons to history, claiming only that I have acted in every instance from a conscientious desire to do what was right, constitutional, within the law, and for the very best interests of the whole people. Failures have been errors of judgment, not intent.
Ulysses S. Grant was one of 9 generals in American history who have gone from the glory of the battlefield into the office of the presidency. As a soldier, he was unequaled, but his military training left him ill-equipped for the maneuverings of political wars. He led the Union troops to victory, and for this, history will always remember him. The first president born in Ohio, Grant spent his early years attending a one-room schoolhouse, working on his father's farm, and acquiring a reputation as an outstanding horseman. In 1838, he was appointed to the United States Military Academy at West Point. Grant had not applied to the academy. His father had sought the appointment.
In the winter of 1838, my father received a letter from a United States Senator from Ohio. After reading it, my father said to me, "Ulysses, I believe you're going to receive the appointment." "What appointment?" I inquired. "To West Point," he answered. "But I won't go," I said. He said he thought I would go, and I thought so too, if he did.
Throughout his stay at West Point, Grant remained lukewarm to the prospect of a military career, and his grades were only average. Only once was his ambition stirred, a visit to West Point by General Winfield Scott, one of America's greatest soldiers. 6 years later, Lieutenant Grant served under Scott in the Mexican War. This was the war by which the United States sought to annex Texas and other Southwest lands belonging to Mexico, and Grant wholeheartedly disapproved of the conflict.
For myself, I was bitterly opposed to the measure, and to this day regard the war which resulted as one of the most unjust ever waged by a stronger against a weaker nation. It was an instance of a republic following the bad example of European monarchies in not considering justice in their desire to acquire additional territory.
Despite his feelings, Grant fought brilliantly, but dreary duty assignments after the war made him resign from the Army in 1854. For the next 7 years, he attempted a variety of civilian occupations and was unsuccessful in each venture. And then in 1861, the Great Civil War split the nation in two. Grant was assigned to bring under control a wild and unruly regiment of Illinois volunteers, and did so in 6 short days. Shortly thereafter, his unit was engaged in combat, and Grant's discipline and leadership paid off handsomely.
The troop had gone but a little way when they were fired upon, and the ball may be said to have fairly opened. The whole command, with the exception of a small reserve, was then ordered forward. The order was obeyed with great alacrity, the men all showing great courage. I feel truly proud to command such men.
Realizing the key to victory was control of the Mississippi River, the lifeblood of the continent, Grant led his men in an attack against Fort Donelson. When the Confederate commander asked for negotiated peace terms, Grant's answer was an unyielding demand.
You may convey to your leader that his proposal of armistice and appointment of commissioners to settle terms of capitulation has been received. And you can tell him my answer. No terms, except an unconditional and immediate surrender can be accepted.
Fort Donelson surrendered, and 15,000 Confederate prisoners of war were taken. It was a major turning point in the course of the war, lifting the spirits of the Union Army. And it thrust a rising military leader before the nation's eye. Unconditional surrender, Grant. The victory at Fort Donelson had broken the Confederacy's hold on the West. Grant's conviction that the Mississippi was the key to victory remained unswerving. And in May of 1863, his forces surrounded the river town of Vicksburg. For almost 2 months, they hammered away at the fortress. And finally, on the 4th of July, the white flag of surrender appeared.
The troops felt that their long and weary marches, hard fighting, exposure to all sorts of weather, and worst of all, to the jibes of many northern papers that said all their suffering was in vain, that Vicksburg would never be taken, were at last at an end, and the Union sure to be saved.
The siege of Vicksburg ended on the same day as the battle at Gettysburg, and Major General Grant now moved to follow up the Northern advantage. When appointed Commander-in-Chief of the Union forces in 1864, Grant set out to destroy the army of General Robert E. Lee, while Sherman cut through the heart of the South. It was the final step in a long and bloody struggle to preserve the Union, ending in the courthouse at Appomattox with the surrender of General Lee.
General Lee, in accordance with the substance of my letter to you, I propose to receive the surrender of the Army of Northern Virginia. This done, each officer and man will be allowed to return to his home, not to be disturbed by the United States authorities, so long as they observe their paroles and the laws in force where they may reside.
The terms of surrender were lenient, for Grant, like Lincoln, believed in a reunification of the country, not punishment for the South. 5 days after Appomattox, Grant turned down President Lincoln's invitation to attend a play at Ford's Theater. That night, Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. Less than 4 years later, Ulysses S. Grant was the President of the United States, the hope of a people tired of war and hatred.
The country, having just emerged from a great rebellion, many questions will come before it for settlement in the next 4 years, which preceding administrations have never had to deal with. In meeting these, it is desirable that they should be approached calmly, without prejudice, hate, or sectional pride, remembering that the greatest good to the greatest number is the object to be attained.
Grant was not a politician. He wanted to fulfill Lincoln's plan for Reconstruction, seeking friendship and understanding with those who had been in rebellion. But Grant placed his trust in his advisors and the Congress, and this trust was badly misused. Carpetbaggers and scallywags roamed through the South. Financial scandals rocked the country as the Industrial Revolution took hold, and political patronage became a national scandal.
I respectfully call your attention to one abuse of long standing which I would like to see remedied by this Congress. It is a reform in the civil service of this country. I would have it govern the manner of making all appointments. The present system does not secure the best men, and often not even fit men for public place. The elevation and purification of the civil service of the government will be hailed with approval by the whole people of the United States.
Congress refused to approve this reform, and Grant, believing the president should be an administrator, not a legislator, would not fight back. Grant sought to annex the Dominican Republic as a possession of the United States.
The acquisition of Santo Domingo is an adherence to the Monroe Doctrine. It is a measure of national protection.
Again, Congress refused the president's will. Grant was reelected in 1872, but his problems were only multiplied, and he finally left office after 8 years, a disillusioned man. After a triumphal world tour, his trusting nature was again betrayed by a business associate, and he found himself bankrupt. Dying of cancer, Grant set out to write his memoirs, hoping to pay off his debts and provide for his wife and children. He succeeded. This classic autobiography ultimately earned almost $500,000 for his family. 48 hours after he stopped writing, the old soldier was dead. What he had set out to do, Grant had done.
I feel that we are on the eve of a new era when there is to be great harmony between the Federal and the Confederate. I cannot stay to be a living witness to the correctness of this prophecy, but I feel it within me that it is to be so. The universally kind feeling expressed for me at a time when it was supposed that each day would prove my last seemed to me the beginning of the answer to let us have peace.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed the faithful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with a glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us live to make men free, while God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. While God is marching
Well, you didn't tell me. Did you make any New Year's resolutions?
Oh, sure.
What are they?
You're not supposed to tell, are you?
Oh, sure.
I know